it's going to come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Welcome to Middles Open. I'm Michael Morris. I'm here with my good buddy Doug Risher. Doug, how are you?
Good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. We haven't seen each other in a while, but we have sent some vile texts to each other, so I know that you are still alive.
We do that regularly anyways.
Well, I was really excited because I saw that you were traveling the Northeast and you didn't go to one ball game.
I did not. No, there was no way to do that. I was visiting family. 8 states.
Listen, man.
Lost track of what days it was.
Everybody was playing at home, and you didn't bother.
I did not bother.
You're a fine American. That's why I like you.
I didn't want to support the leagues.
But
I don't know what that means.
There is a person in here that wants to support every league as long as it's college football. That's what he tells me all the time. Jimmy Microphone.
College football.
We have to protect his identity. We can't say his last name. I did say that before, but Jimmy is our resident expert in college football.
Juan Thomas.
I like that.
Michael came up with that. Happy New Year.
Same to you, buddy. The reason we came up with that is because I said his name on the air one time, and he said, "You can't say my name." So it's Juan Thomas all the time, so you can figure it out. Guys, the reason we want to talk today is I know Jim is excited because he loves college football. I want to get his reaction, because it's always the best thing to hear, on what happened with the bowl games that went down. First of all, I want to say I look forward to the bowl game season every year, and that was the most boring set of games I ever saw. I don't think I finished one of them other than Ohio State.
You mean the Oregon-Michigan State game?
Oh, my God. That was like watching soccer.
Yeah, it was like watching paint dry. You're right.
Yeah,
D'Antonio's defense did a great job against Oregon, and that kid Herbert, who's I think
that guy would have been the number one pick in the draft. That's what they said.
Yeah, but he's coming back for his senior year, and they slowed him down enough. But Michigan State's offense looked like they were just the worst offense in recorded human history.
It looked like 90 kids that had never seen a football.
Exactly.
It was terrible. But that's the thing is I was looking forward to all these games. The Texas-Georgia game was a waste of time. I don't care what the final score is. All these games were blowouts.
Texas beat Georgia, so Mark Richt, the head coach of Georgia. No, not Mark Richt. He was former head coach of Miami.
He retired,
Mark Richt
yeah.
Did coach Georgia. Kirby Smart, who now coaches Georgia, can stop whining and crying about not being in the Final Four. You couldn't even beat Texas.
Yeah, but is Texas good now again? Or is Georgia just bad?
I think they are, and their quarterback, I can't remember his name, Ellinger, the quarterback at Texas, he says, "We're back" to Longhorn Nation. So, I mean, that's good. Tom Herman, former Ohio State offensive coordinator, doing a good job down there.
And he's really good friends with that coach that got in trouble here, and apparently he likes to visit establishments in the evening. So, according to the guy's Twitter,
what's wrong with that?
There is nothing wrong with it. I think you can't write it off
establishments.
You can't write it off as a business expense for the college football team.
Well, I think that was business, though.
That is true. Listen, I've submitted receipts for worse.
I mean, couldn't this be a business expense?
Technically, it is. I'm writing off this entire conversation.
Makes sense.
On your 2019 taxes.
That's right. So what do you want to tackle first? Because I'm going to give you the option. I just said all the bowl games were worthless. Unless anybody wants to add to that, I know that...
Even worse was the Clemson-Notre Dame game.
Oh, Notre Dame played?
Yeah. Notre Dame, no, they didn't show up. Notre Dame showed up and just rolled over.
Right.
Well, Clemson.
I think
Clemson didn't even have their best, was it Dexter Lawrence?
They were missing 4 defensive starters, and Notre Dame couldn't move the ball.
And Dexter Lawrence was out because he tested positive for a banned substance. He's the guy who's going to go in like the top 2 or 3 in the NFL draft because he's a stud defensive lineman, and he wasn't playing, and Notre Dame still couldn't move the ball. 3 points. But as an Ohio State fan, I can't say much because we lost to Clemson 2 years earlier, 31-0. So I can't say too much about Notre Dame.
And you can't really trash Notre Dame because when Urban Meyer goes there, when he has a miraculous healing issue, you'll have to like that. Yeah, he's going to take a year off. But I know everybody wants to talk about Urban Meyer, and I will let you guys do that. Him leaving, I don't think makes that big a difference, in my own opinion.
Ryan Day.
Well, I see you're flinching over there, Jimmy. Your opinion on that last game?
Oh, the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
any bowl.
Fantastic for the first 3 quarters. That Rose Bowl was terrific for the Buckeyes for the first 3 quarters, and they let their foot off the gas.
And then the fourth quarter, it covered the bettors. Did you see that? Did you see how much money?
Vegas was watching.
Vegas really cared about that game.
Yes.
That was the most amazing part because I thought Washington looks terrible, and then they covered. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was 5.5 points.
Then they started looking good. And Jake Browning's, I think, a kid who's going to play in the NFL, the Washington quarterback. He's good.
Does he?
I don't know if he'll be first round,
team
but
or something?
he's good. He's good.
I don't know about that. Doug?
So
Not great, but good.
Well, Doug, did you even get to see these games? Because you were traveling.
I
a lot.
didn't see those games because I was literally driving. So.
Let me tell you how bad they were. They were terrible. So now you don't even have to watch them. I saved you about 30 hours of television.
Well, I DVR'd them, but I guess I don't need to watch them. No, I'm just
Get
teasing.
rid of those Orange County Wives or whatever that is.
Oh,
Save
those
the
are my
bowl
favorite,
games.
though.
Yeah.
Doug's going to watch football in a little over a week.
Yeah, my
when,
team has the week
Patriots
off.
play.
My team.
That's all I
has the
gotta
week
say.
off.
So I'm looking at the sheet of stuff that we're going to talk about, but the one thing I really want to talk about isn't on the sheet.
Give it to me.
And it's last Sunday when the Browns, the Bengals, and the Steelers were all playing, and I witnessed some of the best people watching I've ever seen in my life. Where I was watching the game at, there was people wearing Bengals jerseys, Steelers jerseys, and Browns jerseys.
Where were you? Jail?
Yes, and the docks. No, but literally, I saw people losing their minds, and then I got to watch everybody leave the establishment upset and brokenhearted because it was glorious. The Browns.
The only happy people were Ravens fans, and they weren't there. It was
Yeah,
just
they
Browns,
weren't there.
Steelers,
I mean, the
and,
Browns,
Bengals
obviously,
fans.
the best season they've had in I don't even know how long.
Since 1941.
No, I think the best season they've had since about in the 90s or
Yeah.
something like that.
Since the year before Bernie Kosar discovered vodka.
Yeah, and the Bengals fired their coach.
Well, what do you think's going to happen
Finally.
with the Browns next year, Jim?
I hope that I don't remember the guy. What's his name? Who's the interim head
Williams.
coach?
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams.
Yeah.
Take a serious look at him. I don't follow the NFL like I used to, but yeah, I root for the Browns. My mother's from Cleveland. She used to watch Otto Graham throw touchdown passes. Back when he used to ride dinosaurs to the stadium. That's how long ago that was. But Greg Williams, I hope they take a serious look at him.
That guy's not going to get the gig because that's the Bounty Gate guy.
Oh,
There's
oh,
no
yeah,
if
that's
anybody
right.
hires that guy, the whole
Saints,
Bounty
Bounty Gates.
Gate's going to come up. They want to talk to college coaches. They want to talk to the guy that got fired in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Yeah, he might be a good fit.
But even though Greg Williams did a great job, he's not going to get that job because
Yeah.
do you want to answer that question every single week? How much did you try to pay people to beat up Brett Favre? That's what I want to know. I don't care about anything else he's ever done.
You got a good point.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So McCarthy, take a good look at him. And
Well,
there'll
Greg
be some
Williams
other
was-
coaches out there.
Greg Williams was out of football for a couple years because of that. I think he was coaching like girls soccer or something, just waiting for an opportunity. And when the Browns brought him in, it was kind of like people just forgot about it. And then when he gets elevated, no one brought that up. And that was the first thing I
never
thought
even
of.
thought about that. Like, so what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to have someone in place by next season? I mean, I guess they would have to, right?
I absolutely think they will. But what I think is funny is the coaching carousel. If you get a job, your name keeps getting floated out there. Now they don't seem to look for new people.
Right.
It's the guy that got fired in Denver. They're bringing him in to Cleveland to interview and Cincinnati and the Jets. The guy, I think, has a 33% winning percentage, and they're going to bring him in because he's a quality. Yeah, it's bad.
And if you're a Bengals fan, you don't want Hugh Jackson.
He's a cheap option.
Yeah,
I'd pay him $2 million versus
But
paying.
Hugh, what he won like I think 3 or 4 games, or 6 games as head coach of the Browns during his tenure there. Went 0-16 last season, 1-15 the season before. Yeah, I want that guy.
Absolutely brutal.
Not if you're a Bengals fan.
I
But,
can't
hey,
believe he has a job still.
Maybe he's
to be
cheap.
honest.
Mike Brown's cheap, so maybe.
Well,
Guy
what's
owns
his
the
other
Bengals.
option? You want this job, or do you want to sit at home? I have a question
I
for
wanna sit at
you.
home.
Well, don't we all? Did you see the report about in New England? They're talking about Robert Kraft is going to step aside, and his kids are going to run the organization, and they're expecting wholesale changes in the coaching staff.
I saw a little bit of that, but do you really see that happening real soon?
My question is, if it affects Belichick, that's one thing. If he's still there, I have total faith that
They'll be
the ball's
fine.
going to keep going
Right.
downhill. But if they get rid of him, or for some reason he would leave, I think you got problems.
I mean, if you're the Patriots, why would you want to get rid of Belichick?
I don't think it's a matter. I think it's a
or
power
he
thing.
he wants to leave because he's just done with football.
No, I think it's when it came to the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. He didn't want him picked in the first place, and so he didn't think that Brady needed a backup like that because
Right.
you're kind of grooming somebody.
Right.
And when San Francisco did trade for Garoppolo, they asked for Brady, and Belichick said no. Ownership said, "Well, we like this idea because Garoppolo can play." And Belichick's the one that pulled the trigger and sent him Garoppolo. So you send a guy that's 23 or 25 years
Right.
old,
Has a
And
long future ahead of him.
and he looks really good when he's healthy. that's where I think the rift is Belichick wants, kind of like Parcells used to say, if you wanted me to make the dinner, you got to let me buy the groceries type thing.
Yes, he wants to be responsible. He wants like the GM.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's proven to work so far,
but
obviously.
but if I look at that and then I look at what's going on in Pittsburgh, I would rather be in the
The
Belichick
soap
camp
opera
and
in
let him.
Pittsburgh.
Well, Belichick is running all the player personnel. He's got other people there, but he's not. If you're a problem with the Patriots, you just get cut. Like if you're a problem, unless you're Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, well,
that guy.
He'll cut you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't cut that guy.
You got to fit in with the
I
Patriots
said whatever
system.
you want.
Yeah.
You tell me how much money you want. Just stay home. I don't care.
You can have it.
But the Steelers situation is a mess because if they lose Le'Veon Bell doesn't play.
Yeah. Where's he going to play next year?
I think he's going to play.
Antonio
in Cleveland.
Brown, will he stay with Pittsburgh?
I think he's going to the West Coast. I think he's going to go to San Francisco. He wants to play with somebody. He's not going to go to Jacksonville. And he's not going to go to Carolina.
No.
Which I don't understand how that works anyway. How somebody can say, "I don't
heard
want to
one
play
rumor
here."
he's coming to the Browns, but no, I can't see that.
Can you-
West Coast, yeah, I could see that. San Francisco.
I think he's getting out of that whole division. Do you want to play the team that you basically quit on twice a year?
No. And
That's
Le'Veon Bell, I'd
interesting.
love to see him come, to somewhere here in Ohio because he's from Groveport.
Well, maybe he'll probably go to the Lions because he went to Michigan State, and they're such a
There you go.
dominating team. Matt Patricia, that's your boy.
It was, that's interesting when you said that. You're going maybe to go to San Francisco. Why San Francisco, though?
Because Garoppolo will be healthy next
Okay.
year. You got a younger team that's coming up, but I also think he wants to get away from all this mess. If
Just
you
out
look,
of the division altogether.
yeah, because if you're in the AFC, I mean, think about how many teams are just junk.
Yeah.
The Jets, the Dolphins, Denver. If you go to San Francisco, there's not, other than the Rams. Well, I guess Seattle's a good team, but that's a 9-7 team every year that makes the
Right.
playoffs. You got a better chance at succeeding, getting the playoffs, and winning
That makes
in the
sense.
NFC versus the AFC. Because if everything stays the same, Pittsburgh is going to ramp back up. They'll be in the playoffs again.
Right.
The Browns look really good. Ravens look okay.
Wait, what did you say?
I can't believe I just said that. I wanted to move on from that. But if I'm looking at the AFC, the road's a lot harder to get out of there.
Right, that makes
So,
sense.
The
Even if-
Ravens are looking good with that quarterback they got.
Jackson.
The Heisman Trophy winner out of Louisville.
Just don't interview the guy.
Looks a lot better than Flacco. Just don't interview him?
Have you ever heard that guy talk?
No, I haven't.
I bet you the people at Louisville are probably like, please don't interview him. Because it would be hard to say that guy is a graduate. He didn't graduate, but it would be hard to say that he passed all those courses. He's a
probably
communications major.
Since he's one of those players who, since he showed that
Since he won the Heisman Trophy.
burst of athletic ability,
Yeah.
kind of got patted on the back. Hey, you don't need to learn anything. Just go throw touchdown passes.
We used to have that a lot in the 80s and the 90s at Ohio State.
Well, to throw another
A lot of
curveball
schools did.
literally out there, I was having this conversation a couple days ago talking about the Browns and their rival. Who is their biggest rival now? Is it the Steelers? I used to recall like the Ravens being like their biggest rival.
I
back
still
in the
think it's
day.
When
the
Art
Ravens.
Modell was still alive, yeah.
So I mean, is it a
Ravens.
toss-up now? Is it go both ways? Are they just rivals for both teams?
I think everybody in the AFC hates the Steelers mainly because what is it they always say? They got 6 rings or whatever, and then last time they won it, like Andrew Jackson was president, whatever. But it's like a Cowboys fan. But when you're looking at that team, I think everybody, especially in a division, hates that because
Right.
none of them have ever had that success.
Right, there's that.
If it's me, I would hate the Ravens because that was my team that you took away from my town.
I thought everybody in the AFC hated the Patriots.
Oh,
I think everybody in football hates the Patriots.
Oh, okay. There you go.
They
Because
win
of their
too much.
success. Like in college football.
So I
they-
mean,
they
so
hate
the Steelers
Bama.
are plagued with that same kind of mentality in this division. Because,
Well, I think it's the same thing when people look at college football and they say they're tired of watching Alabama playing the national title game or Alabama and Clemson. Why would you not want to see the best teams play?
I mean, I get it. People are tired of watching the same teams over and over again. I mean, and I understand that, but it's the same time, like, you want to see the best players, so those best players are going to be on those teams.
Well, when you look at the Clemson Notre Dame game, those are two teams that you look at and go, "Oh, they should be evenly matched on paper," and they're not.
Right.
So
Yeah, at least Oklahoma scored some points against Alabama's defense.
Oklahoma's still a good team, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But when
Heisman Trophy winner 2 years in a row.
But if you in America, everybody likes success to a point. So the Patriots, every year, they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game. They're going to make it to the Super Bowl, whatever. If you're tired of that, then you shouldn't like sports at all.
Right.
Because it's all about winning, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, right?
In football games.
And you're irritated because you're tired of watching them. Then somebody beat them.
I should have worn my brand new Patriot sweatshirt today, just to.
Because you were cold?
No, just for the Facebook.
Oh, I thought you meant because of the weather.
It's very cold.
Because
Yeah.
you're
Nobody on
right. If you're
Facebook
tired of it, just beat them. Like the Buffalo Bills of the early '90s. that
Everybody
won-
beat them once they got the
No,
Super Bowl.
that won 4 straight AFC championships. So the rest of the AFC, they beat up on them, but then they couldn't win a Super Bowl. But, you know, if you're tired of it in the AFC, don't piss and moan. Beat them.
Wow, Jim said moan.
Speaking of Buffalo, never go there. It is the biggest pit in the country.
I think we know, and I think we've offended both of our Buffalo listeners.
I went there over the summer, and it was just a dive.
I heard Niagara Falls is nice.
No, it's on the Canadian side it is.
Oh.
On the U.S. side, it's a joke.
And
Spoken
Buffalo
by a
wings are
Canadian.
nice.
And I didn't have a passport, so I'm not allowed in Canada. So well, at least I wasn't allowed in Canada.
You're lucky
years
they
ago.
didn't build that wall up there.
Yeah. Eh?
That's right. We're going to build that wall and
But
keep you out.
the U.S. side of Niagara Falls, a dump. Other side looks amazing, but I wasn't allowed to go over there. So
That's a perfect place to take a break. Whenever somebody says this town is a dump,
I was
gonna-
banned from Canada. We'll leave it at that. For 7 years.
you and Kid Rock. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Kid Rock.
He got,
Was he
got
banned
kicked out. Yeah, he got kicked
Really?
out for trashing a stage and all that.
I was kicked out, not allowed for illegal fireworks.
For illegal or legal?
Illegal because they weren't allowed. I was traveling to Canada on my birthday, back when I lived in New Hampshire, and my buddy's trunk had a bunch of illegal fireworks in it, and I didn't know this. And they found them, and they banned us for 7 years each.
And you're sitting on like 4
Jeez.
pounds of coke and
Yeah, I mean, they didn't
Salt
find
work
everything
for them?
else. They didn't find everything else. Well, that was what I was worried about. But
I'm actually
was your
banned
birthday.
from the
Now
Cleveland Brown
Facebook
Stadium.
knows that.
I didn't do anything.
you threw the bottle, huh?
I didn't
You were
throw
the-
it. The guy next to me
You threw
throws
the
it, and like
bottle.
a coward runs off, and the cops come up and grab me. I'm banned. I can never go to Cleveland.
Seriously.
Yeah, I didn't even want to be
You
there.
through the snowballs.
Oh, please. I wanted to throw the batteries at the cut. They were going to tase me.
Who was that? Who was that Cincinnati head coach? You're not
Sam
in
Lynch.
Cleveland. Yes, that was hilarious.
I got kicked out of a Rolling Stones concert at the Shot. Not the Shot, the Shoe. My
How do you get kicked out of
My
the
brother was smoking a cigarette by the bathroom, and they threw us both out.
You're kidding.
I was pissed too. That
Was it like
so
early
mad.
on the show?
Yeah, it was like maybe half hour into it.
So you were still standing at that point. Because if you'd have
Yeah.
stayed longer.
Well, no. So yeah, it was. We did a pre-party at what the hell? Oh, at on Lane Avenue where we do all of our QFM football parties.
Varsity Club.
Varsity Club. Jesus, I'm still on vacation.
Don't worry. It's only been a staple for QFM for 30
And-
years.
All right, let's just get back to the show.
Okay.
But yeah, so I got kicked out of there. I was pretty pissed. I'm not banned though, unlike you.
Again, a place I never
Did
want to
you,
go.
I think, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Coach Ryan Day announced he hired his first, made his first hire.
Who?
Quarterbacks coach. I don't know how you pronounce the guy's last name. Yurcich.
Oh, Smith.
Yurcich. Mike Yurcich
From where?
from Oklahoma State. And
does
Oklahoma
your
State,
dude know
Oklahoma
that?
State. He was offensive coordinator for like 5 or 6 seasons for Oklahoma State. He averaged 38 points per game and 478 yards per game.
God, I hope that guy can play. Does he get any
So
eligibility?
under Mike Gundy, he was did a great job as offensive
The mullet?
coordinator. Yeah,
The
he's a man. He's
you ever
40.
seen that dude?
Yeah.
I'm a man.
He's
I'm
growing-
40.
That mullet looks beautiful.
It's a Maine.
Good old Gundy.
All right, so I want to get your thoughts specifically on Urban. We'll come back to that. And then
How much time is there left?
About 11 minutes.
Oh, okay.
10, 11
we got
minutes.
time. And then I want to get in the national title game. Who you picking?
Which
and
is
why?
the next day.
Yeah, it's Monday.
Right. Okay.
All right, Jimmy, I'm ready.
Hang on just a minute.
God bless it. Shut up, Rachel. You're gonna point. I won't be looking. I'm
And
not talking to you. Get a microphone.
I don't know why she doesn't sit in on the show too.
we ready?
Yeah. Welcome back to Middles Open, where we are talking the bowl games and how they were the worst things that's ever been on television. I want to get back. Jim is he's our OSU guy. He's our OSU apologist, and I want to ask his opinion. Urban goes out a winner in the Rose Bowl. How do you feel about that?
I
Don't
think it
give me
was
the
a-
Facebook answer either, where, well, thank you, Coach.
No,
You're
how
such a
I
great
feel
person."
about it is he was like a lot of Ohio State fans. He grew up here in Ohio, He's Buckeye fan, and the dream was back then, because he's about a year younger than I am, and the dream was you win the Big Ten, you go to the Rose Bowl, and he'd never coached in a Rose Bowl.
That's kind of the perfect way to go out.
Yeah, it was a great way, a nice capper for his career.
And then when he's at USC and they play in the Rose Bowl again, he can win it there.
Who knows where?
I have him going to every school. Anywhere there might be any high-profile thing, he's going there.
Or he's going to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns. Or he's going to be coach of the some team in Canada, Canadian
You can't
football
coach in
league.
the
Who
pros.
knows?
They don't pay as much as they do at
How
a
do
college
you
program.
how can you go from being the OSU coach, winning and going to the Browns? I mean, so I don't see that. What do you think he's doing right now? Think
He's teaching
on
a class.
vacation?
I think he is getting his synopsis ready. The syllabus is being written for that. What's
He's
that
painting
course?
his office.
What's that
building his
course that
resume.
he's doing? Like morals and something or other?
It's a leadership course or
There
something.
you
Plus, he's
go.
going to be the associate or assistant athletic director.
Be the golf instructor or something.
He's going to be the best Urban he can be.
But you're okay with it. And you
Yeah.
think that game plan, they win, what, 28-25, right? So Washington looks like they don't know how to play until the fourth quarter, and then they're dominating fourth quarter. You think that team looks strong coming out for next year?
For next year, obviously the defense work needs to be done on the defense. Every Ohio State fan knows that.
I don't know about
There's-
that. They
there's-
look good against Purdue. Those uniforms never got dirty.
Yeah, yeah. Work needs to be done on the defense. The offense, I think, will be in good hands because this guy's from Euclid, Ohio, the new quarterbacks coach
Say
of
the
Ohio
name, say
State.
the name, say the name.
Mike Yurcich,
Yeah, spell it.
Yurcich.
Yep,
Haven't heard
Jones.
pronounced. Yurcich. He was at Oklahoma State, the offensive coordinator under Mike Gundy there, and they had great success. 38 points per game, 478 yards per game. Like I said, he's from Euclid, so the local connection. Ryan Day hired him as the new quarterbacks coach at Ohio State. I think the offense will be fine, but the defense, work to be done. Greg Schiano.
Does he stay? Does Gianna stay?
I don't know. Who else are they going to get?
Well, that's my question. Where do you
Yeah.
get another guy? I mean,
Euclid.
yeah. Well, maybe somebody in the
Get a guy
Mifflin
from
area.
Euclid.
That's a weird name too. You were talking about that guy's last name, how weird it is to
Yurcich.
spell. Euclid, though?
Euclid.
How do you spell that? EUCLID?
Yeah,
My God.
Euclid.
You nailed
It's,
it.
it's near Cleveland.
How,
I
how
have
did, how
fraternity
did they
brothers
get
from
that,
there.
that name out of that?
See,
Euclid.
when the early settlers came, is that what you're asking me? Is how we get names of states?
It
and
was
cities?
John Euclid who originally settled Euclid. I have no clue.
He set up the Mormon Church of Euclid.
I'm here to just go on all these tangents, so.
That's fine. That's what this is all
Euclid.
about.
But the
Okay.
defense needs work. I think the offense will be fine next year.
I do like that Jim makes the association of where someone went to high school or what city they grew up in. That's why they are here. That might have something to do with it,
Yeah.
but he always has that background knowledge on why someone's here that's a Buckeye for life.
True.
Yeah. Now, one thing we're going to talk about, I see on the outline, is who do you got and why? Alabama, Clemson.
For tomorrow's
National
game.
championship game coming up Monday, January the 7th.
What time is that game, anyways?
I think it's
I
like
think they say the
say
kickoff's at
8:30.
8:15 and there's
Yeah.
like 20 preambles and all that. So about 9:30.
the pregame will start
So we
around
have to
2 in
work
the
next day,
afternoon.
though?
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
give that off?
No.
No. Like the Super Bowl, the pregame will start at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, and Imagine
Is there a Puppy Bowl?
Dragons is going to be playing.
Yes, Imagine Dragons. That's the most
Oh,
important part.
I gotta watch now.
Yeah, so
Yep.
you can turn off at least 40 minutes of that.
What about the Puppy Bowl? They have that?
No, I don't think.
I think that's only for the
Damn it.
That's only for the legit big
Jeez.
time
Yeah.
bowl games.
Well, I'll see that before the Patriots win the Super Bowl. So
you'll see the Puppy Bowl and
Are-
the Budweiser Bowl and all that other stuff.
I do want to know what Doug thinks because Doug is he's very hardcore in his opinions about things. And
He
when
thinks
doesn't-
Tom Brady's going to throw some touchdowns.
Well, a lot of times when he picks somebody, it's because he doesn't like somebody. He's
The
like,
other-
I don't even
ah.
like that person, so I'm going to pick the
yeah,
other team.
I hate that guy. We talking about? Okay, I'm gonna go with Alabama.
Really?
I'm just picking one.
No, I am too. I just wanted to know why.
I have really no reason. I'm just going with. I don't care either way, to be honest.
beautiful.
And I'm just gonna. That's how I used to place bets. I
We
have a
did
whim.
talk about
I
that.
have a whim, and I'm just gonna go with it. Alabama.
Who's favorite? Alabama's favorite, right?
I think Alabama's favorite. It's going to be fun to watch Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep, you said
Could
it.
you-
That's-
I said
I
it.
couldn't
Tua
even get that out of my
Tagovailoa.
mouth.
Michael Locksley, who's the offensive coordinator at Alabama, versus Brent Venables' Clemson defense. That's going to be a lot of fun. Is
Probably
Tua's,
from Minford, Ohio.
Is Tua's
Medford.
now? Is Tua? I don't know where he's from, but is Tua's ankle 100%? I
Did
do
you
know
see
this. Nick Saban, the head coach of Alabama, went to Kent State and was there when the shooting occurred back in May of 1970.
Funny enough, Nick Saban's
Wow.
ankle
Nick
was
Saban
fine.
was on. He and his roommate were.
How do you know that?
I read
That's
that in a
amazing.
book a long time ago. Nick Saban and his then roommate, they were on the football team at Kent State back in 1970. And instead of going to the quad where all the action was, where unfortunately the shooting took place, that was May 4th, 1970. But he decided, hey, we're hungry. We're football players. We're going to the cafeteria. And then, the shooting happened. He could have very
Do you
well
know what
been
his
shot.
roommate's name is?
No, I don't.
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth.
No,
There
I don't
you
know his
go.
name. I just thought that you would know that as well.
No. Sorry. I let you down.
So-
but I think that'll be the fun part when the Alabama's offense is on the field and Clemson's defense. Clemson's got a freshman quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who's
that
looked good, but...
Not when he takes his helmet off. That guy should leave the helmet on at all times.
Oh,
he
his-
looks
his
like the kid
beautiful
from Mask.
hair.
The kid from Mass.
Have you ever seen
Cher's
that? The
mom?
Rocky Dennis.
Cher and, yeah.
My God.
Whatever happened to that kid?
His beautiful hair.
He went on to be a model. What do you think would happen to him?
Well, that wasn't that was literally a mask.
No,
wasn't
it was. I'm kidding. It was Eric Stoll. Are we really going to do this?
it?
We're
No,
gonna
we're
break
not
down
gonna
the movie.
So
Mask?
Mike
Breaking
and I
down a
both
movie.
have Alabama. What do you got, Jim?
I've got, I think, Clemson in a very close ball game. Very close ball game. Like the last few times these teams have played, it's going to be like one of those like 35-31 type of things. I think Clemson's going to win.
Are those
Because of their
defensive-
defense.
Well, my question to you is: are those 4 kids from Clemson suspended?
Well, they've
can't
got
remember. Were they
the
only
one guy,
suspended one game?
the guy who's Dexter Lawrence is out. He's like their number one defensive standout, big stud, going to play on Sundays in the NFL. And another guy that's suspended is, I think, an offensive lineman and a tight end. I thought there were 3 of them.
I think you're right, but if you're saying it's a defensive battle and they're missing,
They're missing their best defensive player, and they shut down Notre Dame.
what does that mean?
Clemson's
If we had 8 more people, Jim, we could shut down Notre Dame.
defensively, Clemson ranks number 4 overall. They permit 4.808 yards per play. Bama's defense, guess where they rank overall?
I'm gonna
Number
get-
10.
Really?
And they let up
I'd have said
4.52
one. I thought that was a
yards per
trick.
play. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And Clemson's got that big running back they got. I can't remember his name. They got a really good running back. He's got a name that's fun
that
to
guy.
say, and now I can't remember.
That guy.
Shame on
John
me.
Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes
Where did he
Booth.
get his info? I don't have all that info.
I got it off the internet.
The interwebs, thank you, Al Gore.
Exactly.
Jim knows
The
every
interweb.
statistic, where someone's from, what their favorite record is. That's
What
how I
year they were
know
born,
his
everything.
info is always legit.
All right, so Clemson for Jim, Alabama for myself and Michael. We'll have to wait. And
You
see,
guys
right?
think it'll be a blowout?
No, I don't think it will.
so.
I think you're probably right.
really
I mean, I
close
think it's going to
game.
be a close game.
3-4 point game.
Alabama, obviously, with their offense, but Clemson's defense is obviously really strong. So we'll have to wait and see. And at 9:37 tomorrow.
Yep. Imagine Dragons.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
when Imagine Dragons
wait
takes
for
the
the
stage
Imagine
at
Dragons.
halftime.
I'll-
I do know this. 6 starting quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs are all 25 or under. First time ever in NFL history. I thought that was interesting.
That is
That is.
interesting. Never hold that back.
The
But I
young
would
guys.
have started that
The
off
young
early.
guys. So if Dwayne Haskins goes, hey, he could very well be playing in the playoffs this time next season.
Does he go?
You said there's 4?
I don't know. He's 50-50.
So there was
6
of them.
starting
Jeez.
quarterbacks in the playoffs are age 25 or under. That's the most in the history of the playoffs, NFL history.
What's with that?
Well, guys are leaving after 3 years now.
Talking about guys leaving. Mean Gene, Super Dave
Oh,
Osborne,
you know what? We should have
Wanted
started
to
the
give you a
show.
moment.
Captain Tennille.
We should have a moment of silence before the show.
Daryl Dragon,
R.I.P.
Mean Gene, and
Mean Gene,
and Super Dave.
Yeah.
who
Super
was
Dave
going to be a
Osborne.
guest on this show.
Marty Funkhauser.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't
From
recognize
Curb
the
Your
name
Enthusiasm.
Marty Funkhauser or whatever until I saw the picture and I go, oh, that's Super Dave Osborne.
Yeah. See, I would watch him on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David, and I'd be like, why do I know that guy? And it took me like
Why does
3
he look
seasons
familiar?
to finally realize that was Super
He had a
Dave.
Back in the
beautiful voice.
80s, Super Dave
Yeah.
Osborne.
His voice was very peculiar.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
It always sounded like he
distinctive.
just drank like a gallon of glass.
So 3, we lost 3.
We lost Captain and Tennille
Tennille,
as
yeah.
well.
Daryl Dragon.
Yeah.
Is he from Imagine Dragons?
That's
I
the
don't
dude
know.
from Mortal
Maybe
Kombat.
that's where Imagine Dragons got their name, from Daryl Dragon. Daryl Dragon and Tony Tennille.
But Mean Gene,
Yeah.
big place
Yeah.
in your heart, right?
It hurt me, and I'm not going to lie. And I wanted this whole show to be about Mean Gene, but you can't do a 30-minute show on him. You need at least 3 to 4 hours.
Another weird fact: they were all 76.
I know, that's weird.
What are the
All
odds of that? Yeah.
876. I did
So
not know
listen,
that.
my
That is
prediction
interesting.
is Alabama
We're
wins,
making Rachel leave.
and the
because we're
over/under is 76. I'm calling it right now.
76.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
76.
Somebody call the Westgate Sportsbook.
Yeah, please bet your house on it. 76.
76 will
points
be the over/under.
Yep. And for Mean Gene and that guy that you said is a dragon.
Daryl Dragon.
Doug, do you have any parting thoughts this week? This show was all over the place as it always is.
It was literally all over. Movie thought. What are you going to go see next?
Please, come on.
Captain Marvel in March?
Yeah. Why are we waiting that long? It's probably going to be this weekend. We just went to see Bumblebee. I
Isn't
recommend
it? Not
everybody.
out till March? Captain Marvel?
Yeah, but we got to see movies between now and then, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait 3 months.
So you saw the Transformer, the
Yeah.
Bumblebee. How was that?
It was the best of the
I'm
Transformers.
saying it got really great reviews on Rotten
It was
Tomatoes. I
fantastic.
just haven't had a chance to see it.
It was fantastic. You should go out. Jim, you should get a date. You should take her there
I
so
see
she
a
leaves you
movie
at the
in
movie theater.
theaters. I see a movie in theaters maybe about once every 5 years or maybe 3 years. When a new James Bond movie comes out, I'll see that in the
No,
theaters.
skip it. This is the one to see. If you can only see one movie, folks, in the next couple years,
Captain
Bumblebee.
Avenger.
No, not really. I would wait on
But
other movies.
it's good, though.
There could be some shut-ins that need something.
You
to do
like
this
that
weekend.
Spider-Man movie.
Oh my God!
That was
First of all,
pretty cool.
see that movie. That'll change your life.
Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man.
No. The
I'm
worst
kidding, I'm
Spider-Man's
kidding.
right
Jim.
there.
This is why Jim gets booted
We
off.
got Captain Marvel coming, and then we got the new Avengers movie
Yep.
coming, I think, the month after, in April.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna be fantastic. One of these days, that's all we're gonna talk about. Is the
yeah,
movie.
just Marvel movies.
Yeah. That's it. We're out of
Yeah.
time this week, boys. But we will be back next week. Thanks for listening to Middle's Open. We'll see you then. I like how we just devolve into.
Well, I just-
whatever.
I figured-
No, it's fantastic.
I just...
I was
No, a little bit of.
I saw your daughter standing in front of that Captain Marvel
Yeah.
thing, and it made me think of it.
And you had to mention Mean Gene. I'm glad we got that.
Well,
in.
no, I almost forgot about
I
it.
didn't know all of them were 76.
Yeah, no, I saw that last night. I was like, what?